Hi, I'm Alane Paulley, the host of the Energy Exchange, and joining me today is a close friend of mine and an entrepreneur extraordinaire, Todd Schmiedeler. He's founded several companies, and he's actually helped guide me with my company on the AI journey. So I'm really excited to welcome you, Todd.
Thanks, Alane.
And I really just want to know, let's set the stage.
Yeah.
Who are you? What have you done? Tell us about yourself.
Name is Todd Schmiedeler, and probably what I'm most famous for is that I have 10 kids. It seems to be even above every business that I've ever developed or been involved in. It seems like the 10 kids shock people the most. So about 5 years ago, so I spent 15 years in healthcare. 5 years as a senior executive in acute care, and then 10 years as the chief innovations and engagement officer for a large long-term care company. And what I found is that there was a lot of opportunity in the healthcare field to really look at innovation to make your life better, more efficient, just take some of the burdens away. And then about 5 years ago, when I left those areas, I started my own companies. And I've been able to form companies that have multitudes of different kind of strengths and purposes. But a lot of my companies, especially in the last 2.5 years, have grown because of AI. Mm-hmm. We've talked about AI, there's kind of a love-hate relationship with AI, I think, for most entrepreneurs and business leaders, because there's this thing where they realize that it could be a tool. And it's a tool for helping them at least do what I call souped up Google searches and emails. But it's also scary. How is it going to impact my business? How's it impact my people? Mm-hmm. How do I, really understand this thing that could be this dynamic change for me in both a good way and a bad way?
Yeah.
And so I think part of what I've been doing is going around, both nationally and internationally, and speaking about AI, about how I truly believe that AI has the ability for us to be more human to each other.
Okay, so explain that.
And so, if I told any business leader, and I've done this, if I said to you, hey, I have a solution that can help you eliminate 70% of the admin work that is bogging you down behind your computer, that doesn't allow you to go out and be with your people, whether your people are your team or whether it's with clients, because we're so bogged down with all of this paperwork stuff and all this admin stuff. If I say to a leader, I can help you be able to wipe out 70% of that, do you know any leader that would not embrace that? I mean, and the problem is that if you follow that with, hey, AI can do that for you, there's then that immediate oh, I don't understand that. It's moving so fast. Where's it going?
Is it safe?
Is it safe? Is my information safe?
Yeah.
Are my people okay?
Yeah, and are they going to be threatened by this?
Correct. And the fact that, you and I really deeply care about our people.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think that most business leaders actually do.
I do
okay?
too.
But there's a perception that the people who would implement AI are trying to cut people.
Right.
I'm not trying to cut people.
No.
I'm
trying to make their job easier because it's making my job easier.
Right. And I'm trying to add people.
Yeah.
You know how we add people? We add people by doing less of the stuff that doesn't generate revenue.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. And the admin stuff doesn't generate a lot of people revenue, and it doesn't generate joy.
Yeah.
And I love our people.
Yeah.
I'm trying to build a family and not a team.
Right.
And as a result of that, if I don't give them tools, then what have I said?
That you don't care.
That I don't care. And so then the question for me was, I had this feeling 2.5 years ago that AI could be a game changer. Okay. But I was using it as a souped up Google and an email assistant myself. Okay.
Yeah.
I read this book. It's called The AI Driven Leader.
Okay.
All right. It's by a guy named Jeff Woods.
Yes. I think you told me about this.
Yep.
Yes.
And it changed my perspective about how I could utilize AI as my thought partner.
Which is what you taught me.
Yes. So not just a task doer.
Right.
Okay. It can do that. Okay.
Yeah, you talk to it.
Yes, but I talked to it. I
Yes.
mean, I got really committed to it, once I started to understand that that it could help me be able to help my people more. But for example, and I think you know this, I basically created my own persona.
Your brain.
I call it Todd.ai.
Yeah.
I fed it, 3 years of my meetings. Recorded meetings. I fed it 3 years of my emails. I fed it my writings. And I said, okay, I want you to be able to answer business questions for other people so that they don't have to come and to see me all the time. We were growing teams, growing businesses, and I didn't not want to support them. But I also didn't want to be beholden to them or them waiting for me.
Yeah, you are stopping down what you're working on every time you're interrupted or doing that, and which takes long amount of time. Jacob knows 45 minutes it takes to get your brain going back to where you were,
right.
And then at the same time they're waiting for you. And I have this problem consistently to make a decision or help them understand something or do something, and you are the problem with the growth.
I was the bottleneck.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, I still am the bottleneck.
Yeah.
Okay. But I've gotten better about it because I'm utilizing the tools that will help them be able to be able to move forward. So I did this little, basically a mini time study. Okay. For 2 weeks, I calculated every time that somebody came with a question, whether or not that person needed me or just needed my assurance.
Yeah, I've done this test.
Okay.
Too.
And what I found was about 70% of the time they knew the answer.
Yeah.
They just wanted to be confident. They were worried. Okay. And, and I thought, okay, so if I give them Todd.ai and now they have to ask Todd.ai, the question first, and I've trained it to give them 3 obvious solutions, and 3 non-obvious solutions. Okay, that's just a template that I go off of. Or, hey, do I think that this is the right thing? Okay, when they ask my AI, all right, my AI can give them, I've recorded and I've seen what the responses are. About 95% of the time, it's exactly what I would have said. Mm-hmm. Okay, actually, sometimes it's smarter than I am.
Yeah.
Okay.
It probably is, I bet.
Because I may have known the answer, but I may not have been able to connect all the dots in a moment. Mm-hmm. Yes. And it doesn't have that problem.
Right.
And so what I've been trying to do is go around speaking at conferences. And I had the good fortune to speak in Dubai last October for the American Chamber of Commerce at one of the largest AI conferences in the world, and talk about how, hey, as much as bad things can happen, mm-hmm. okay, I believe most bad things happen because of bad people.
Yeah.
Okay. And the ultimate for us is if you're a good business leader, okay, and you want good for your people, you want good for your family, you want good for your business, then to not use this tool puts you at a detriment that you may be out of business.
Yep.
And so don't be afraid of the tool. Be afraid that you don't understand how you utilize the tool to overcome people who are not good people.
Yeah.
I want to encourage people who are good. And I'm investing in people like you and other friends who the real reason I did it wasn't just for my own business.
Yeah.
I'm very blessed that I have an enormous amount network in the Louisville area. Okay.
Yes.
I just did switch over my phone.
The largest amount of people I've ever met that anybody knows.
52,000 people on my phone. Okay. And, and I realized in that 2.5 years ago when I took this leap of faith on this was I have those people on my phone so I can serve them, not so that they serve me.
Yeah.
And if this thing is like the internet, like Google was 20 years ago, because legitimately Google search came out 20 years ago. Okay. And one thing that I share with people that I see different than the Google search, okay, is that the Google search, for those of us that can remember this, really came out and it opened the world to you.
I remember this.
Okay.
I was.
It's amazing.
I remember. I was at work. I remember all of a sudden being told, go here, search Google, and starting to use it. I remember it Completely.
I mean, think about somebody who, like, I didn't know PMF before you and I met.
Yeah.
And so think about trying to figure out what PMF actually can do for you, finding research
I was like
on it.
having to go to the library.
Yeah. And remember, the Dewey Decimal System, the car catalog, that isn't that long ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's how I learned what PMF was, by going to U of L's library.
And Google was a game changer. Okay. Yeah. And I argue that I think Google that AI is a similar, not the same, but similar to what Google did for business, for people, but Google
for productivity,
for your personal productivity.
Yeah, I think if you're not replacing everything in your business, like I hate bots.
Yeah.
Like prior to AI, there was a lot of bots. They're like, pick your journey. You would just get stuck in a loop. You never got to somebody that could help you. I like refuse to do business with tons of businesses, but I was like, I'm done. Like, I can't get anybody on the phone. I think we might see a problem in the future where that happens, but I think most AI what I've found is that companies that are using AI right, I can't even tell.
Yeah, I agree with you. And the other thing is that, we've done a lot, in trying to figure out how do you do something that you've always wanted to do.
Yes.
But the cost or the structure of it was prohibitive for a small business to compete with a large business who had the money to do a podcast.
Right.
Okay. I mean, think about it. Without AI and stuff like that, this would be more challenging.
Way more challenging. We've been able to move faster, and I mean, I've had live people running my chats for the last 15 years.
Yeah.
Live people that I pay that actually answer questions. I train them. My biggest problem has been at nights and weekends that we've expanded into Australia. And
yeah. So now you're 24/7.
And I'm sitting here thinking
like a healthcare business.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, we can't run this all day. And then to get more people onboarded, it's too costly. I can't afford it. So I'm having those people train the AI bots, and they're actually still have their jobs, if not have moved up.
Yeah.
And what they're doing is they're able to manage that information and look at that information differently. And now we're able to integrate that in how we can better serve our customers and how we can better do answers. Instead of just thinking about what does the answer need to be in these situations, we're looking at the whole journey. And I feel like those people have such a better ability to see the big picture without having to be in the weeds with Susan on the chat about where to go to fix her machine or do this. It's like that their time is freed up to look at the business in a different way.
I think AI has opened up the opportunity for many more people inside businesses to become what's typically called intrapreneurs.
Okay.
So entrepreneurs are people who are on the outside that create new businesses. Intrapreneurs are people who help the business from inside and get to be creative in their own area and develop something and make it into what I always call a masterpiece.
I'm trying to hire all intrapreneurs.
Yeah. That's right.
I just want you to figure it out.
That's right. But with AI as your thought partner.
Yes.
The reality is that AI cannot be the thought leader.
No.
Okay. No matter what, because
it's going to not do. It doesn't understand. It's not human.
It's not. Right. It can't start something.
No.
Okay. It can only reply to something. Now that reply might be something of a string that you started a week ago. Okay. Mm-hmm. Because with Claude Cowork now, it can actually take routine tasks and actually automate those.
I know. I'm using it for that.
It's amazing. Now, when you do that, and I get back to the initial thing that hit me was, if I can automate that 70% that you don't really want to do, to get you to your unique ability where your joy is, how much better is that job?
So that's incredible. 1,000% better.
Yes.
Just because you're going to leave work with more energy instead of less. I mean, I've actually seen people, and
better spouse, better parent,
partner, everything.
Better friend, and wouldn't it be nice if we could, how I joke with you that, look, I love what you do because I know that it's reversing some of my aging stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. We got to talk about how we met one day.
Yes. I mean, and then but I also say, wouldn't it be nice if we can utilize AI to reverse our plague of taking too much of our time away from the people we love the most?
Yes. And that's true.
Okay. What we are challenged by is seeing how we don't get taken advantage of.
Well, okay. So have you read the book about ChatGPT, about Anthropic?
Oh yeah. Yes. I mean,
I switched to Claude.
yeah. Well, I mean, candidly, right now, Claude's better.
Yes.
I mean, I mean, for my purposes,
but
now
my
I
fear
still
of
use
selling my
ChatGPT.
conversations, or my fear of like you said, bad people do bad things, and my fear is, I believe that as a society, we need to have some sort of regulation on the fact that, like, who are the people and what is the oversight of the people that are running this? Because the mass disinformation campaign that we already have on social media could become like tragic. I mean,
I actually think AI might kill social media.
I agree.
I mean, and so people,
because you don't even know what's real anymore.
Right, and I think that the other. Look, I try to look at I'm aware of the macro, but in the end, I try to make sure I'm focused on what it is that I can make a difference on today.
Right.
And, I need to understand guardrails.
Yep.
Okay, to my information. So anybody that's using AI, like the common stuff like Claude or ChatGPT or Perplexia, they need to have a paid account. Okay. Does that protect you? No, not entirely.
But you can change your settings a lot more, and you can pick
pick
what's shared to the internet, and you can pick what it accesses.
Anybody that doesn't realize that, there's something going on with our phones that they're hearing our conversations isn't on social media very often, because as soon as I say something, I'm going to get an ad on something not more than like within 12 hours of being on social media. So something's got to be listening to me, because otherwise there's no way that they knew that I wanted that thing without something listening to me. And I'm not, I think about those things, and I think, do I give up my phone?
Look, exactly the same people who are against AI, are worried about AI, have a Amazon Echo in their house, have a Google thing in their house, have any type of major. You have a Gmail. You have a Gmail.
Yeah.
Like I have literally been in like conversations with people, and they're emailing me about how they feel like big state. They don't get on social media, and I'm like, Phil, you're emailing me from a Gmail.
Yeah.
Like they know everything you're doing. They know the website you're on. They know what you buy. They know everything. They're retargeting you. Every time you go to a website, the cookies you are being sold.
Yeah.
All of your information is being sold. So unless you completely disappear from the internet. But I think in this day and age, it's more about using it correctly, setting up the right guardrails. What about having some sort of policy within a business?
Oh, it's critical.
Yes.
Okay. Now, the beautiful thing is that you can actually ask AI to help you with that.
That's what I did.
Getting something started, it's like a journey on anything. It will feel a little daunting and overwhelming. Well, get something that you can start with. Like one of the things that, I think I've shared with you is one of the things that I created in AI was a dossier program.
Yes, okay? And I love it.
So I tried to find a practical way that I could be better at what I do, but also better at who I serve. So when I meet with somebody and I've never met with them before, I have this dossier that basically outlines, this is who I am, and blah, blah, blah. Now, this is who I'm meeting with. And so it takes their name, their company website, and their LinkedIn. Okay. And it goes out and does research on them and aligns my conversation so that I can serve them better. My goal is not to manipulate them. My goal is to figure out understand them, and to make it to show them I cared enough about you.
Yeah.
That I want to try to understand you, not by, sitting through 6 meetings that everybody else does. Let me start by something. Now I give everybody the dossier that I run on.
I know you do.
Okay.
I think you gave me mine.
I'm pretty sure I did. I usually do. All right. And the other thing that I think that is key that AI has done just for me personally is, I have dyslexia. Okay. And so, I'm an audio learner. All right.
Okay.
So I get this dossier that has 20 or 40 pages on how I can serve this person and who they are and their approach and things like that. And, I flipped that into an AI program called NotebookLM. It's a Google product.
I love NotebookLM.
Okay. Which is a small language model. And I'll get back to that in just a second, which is different than like Claude, large language model. Okay. But I flip it in, and then I literally can create it into a podcast that's going to run from 12 to 17 minutes. And that's a better way for me to learn. And so if AI can help, imagine, you've got kids, I've got kids, one of my daughters, okay, is a lot like me.
One of the 10.
Yep. She struggled when she was young to read.
Okay.
Okay. And I had two other of my kids who were vivacious readers. Okay. And, I had to work with this daughter. Her name's Hope, to help her through that. Imagine having AI help me help my daughter.
Oh, yeah.
And
it
the
would have been
good
amazing.
in that,
Because you were searching for help. You were searching for ways. You were looking. And at that time, there wasn't an easy way to search. Now being able to try different methods. And here's the thing that you're hitting on. And I think parents need to hear this. And I think any business owner that's a parent needs to hear this. The first step that I found that you told me was get Claude, get a paid account, and then ask it to ask you questions one at a time to get to know you and your concerns.
Interview.
Yes, interview you one question at a time to get to know you and what you care about and who you are. I did that. And what happened was not only did it learn from that, but it also gives me great advice with what I care about for my business, but also it's amazing. Like this weekend, it came back and it was like, hey, you have a lot going on right now. And you got MagnaCon coming and it kind of feels like we might be nearing a breaking point. Here's what I think that could be some ideas for you to do with Joe and the kids that would be relaxing and fun. And one of them was like sewing and I did it with my daughter. And I'm thinking to myself,
that's awesome.
What? Like that was like a friendly thing.
Yeah.
That right when I got on and I'm like, but not only that, it understands you and it can help you meal plan.
Yeah.
It can help you understand. I mean, I remember 20 years ago trying to make dinner for my daughter and being like, what can I make with these 5 ingredients in my kitchen?
Right.
You literally you could Google it and try to find something. But now you can ask an AI and not only that, but it'll know your preferences. It'll know you're allergic to chicken and won't give it to you, or fish, it won't give it to you.
Yep.
It's incredible how it gets to know you if you do it right and how you can say it. Don't make anything up. Challenge me.
Yes.
Don't challenge me.
Don't make me feel good.
Yes. Don't make me feel good. That's what you told me.
Be like a real friend.
Yes.
The ones that love me enough to tell me the truth.
Yes.
I don't need fake friends.
No.
I don't need, people who are trying to convince me that I'm okay. Okay. Yes. I need people who help me be okay. And that isn't, whether you're AI or a real person. And the other thing that I laugh at all the time is that, when I do these things, I let people ask me a lot of questions, okay, about how I use it and blah, blah, blah. And it's funny that, they talk about, when it makes mistakes. Does it ever make mistakes? Of course it makes mistakes.
Yeah, you read what it says and then you
and you have
check
to,
it. You have to know.
I'm the thought leader.
Yeah.
I'm
not the AI.
Does
Google ever bring you false information? Yes. So AI will too.
Do my employees ever give me false information?
Yes.
You bet they do. Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to stop having employees because, somebody didn't give me the right information when I asked them.
Right.
Okay. Sometimes that's about education.
It's not copy and paste everything that AI says. It's a resource.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
that's hard for people. And I think let me ask you this, because I really want our audience right now predominantly is women who are business owners. And these are women business owners who sometimes are one-man banding it.
Yeah.
Like they're driving, they're doing the treatments.
Love it.
Right? And or they're maybe getting to a point where they have 3 or 4 or 5 machines and they have several employees. How would you tell somebody like that they could implement AI if they're afraid? Because people don't like to feel dumb.
Yeah,
and I found that people don't address new technology, not because they're worried about all the things they say they're worried about. In reality, they feel like they're going to feel dumb.
Yeah. Even
if they're not thinking that subconsciously, they're like, I don't know how to do that. And that just makes me feel dumb thinking about it and trying it. What would you tell somebody like that to do first?
So I always talk about 3 things.
Okay.
And I use myself as the 3 things. The first thing is that, whenever you're trying to create a new capability, okay, and that's what you're trying to do, okay, it doesn't matter what that is, okay, what you have to do is the first thing you have to realize is that you have to go in with courage.
Okay.
Okay, and and that's a big one.
Yep.
Okay. And
don't be afraid. Go in
don't
and
be
just try.
afraid.
I mean, nothing as bad is going to happen if you go in and sign up for a Claude and get started. Like it's not going to, nothing.
And just
you can always stop.
I'm brand new.
Yes.
I don't know anything about what you could do for me. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to help me figure out how you can help take the things away from me that you would be able to do better than I would do with my direction, that would create more time, energy, whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. Just the thing is, just be honest.
Yes.
It's not like that things trying to manipulate you. Guess what? You can actually be more honest with an AI in your room than you can be with a bunch of people out there that may or may not actually
care about you.
Okay.
So be courageous, and that means start an account, go do a monthly paid subscription, and then go in and ask it to get to know you.
Yeah, and it's cheap.
It's cheap.
I mean, it's only $25. I mean, you're talking about
just do month to month. You
yes.
can cancel. All you have to do is go in on an iPhone. You go into subscription and hit cancel.
Yeah, it's easy. Okay. The second thing is that you have to get what I call a cornerstone book, a reference. Okay. I use that AI driven leader.
The AI driven leader by
Jeff Woods. It's Jeff with a G. Okay. Because I found it to be applicable.
Is there any other books you like?
Really, I do podcasts now because I'm
Is there a good AI podcast that you like?
Yeah, well, if you're
Besides
doing
this one?
like marketing, okay.
Yes.
I love it's called AI Accelerator and it's Mike Koenig's.
Oh, Mike Koenig.
Yeah, Koenig.
Yeah.
Yep. Great.
Yeah.
If you want to figure out how to
the AI Accelerator, Mike Koenig is great. I like that one.
He's really good.
Yes.
Okay. Dan Sullivan, who is the founder of Strategic Coach, it goes beyond AI. He talks about AI some, but it's really about how it's about freedoms.
Okay, so get one of those books or find some sort of AI cornerstone information that you like.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Then the third thing is find the first thing that you want to try it on. Okay.
Just like a problem to solve, a process
and it
to
could
start.
it could have nothing to do with business. Okay.
Yeah, it could be your literal menus for the week.
I just, I'm having this challenge, with one of my kids, and you know what? I just like for you to give me a couple pieces of, give me 3 options on this. But I think the key is that, and this is in the book, so it's not like this is my idea, okay? But that interview me. Okay.
Yes.
Interview me one question at a time, and I always tell people say one question at a time.
Yeah, because it'll give you 50, and you'll be
otherwise
overwhelmed.
it'll tell you all the questions at the same time, and it's not learning. It learns every time you answer a question. It creates a better question for you, as opposed to a litany of things. I don't handle litany of questions, even if it was 5 straight questions I'm trying to answer. I'm better one at a time.
So you tell them to give them the basic information. This is Context. Who I am. This is my business. This is my personal life. Just the basics. Like, this is where I live. Please interview me to understand what my priorities are. One question at a time.
Yes, up to 3 questions, 5 questions, or until you
I always just let it keep going.
80% sure that you know my context that I want. And because the thing that Jeff talks about in the AI-driven leader was his model is called CRIT. Okay, CRIT.
Yes.
Okay, C stands for context. Tell it kind of what's going on, and it doesn't care about your spelling. It doesn't care about your accent. It doesn't care about any of that. So what I do is I actually talk to it.
Yeah.
Okay. I hit the mic button and I talk to it and I say, hey, here's what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's context. Okay.
Context.
So the second thing is role. What do you want AI to serve as? Is it your CFO? Is it giving you some legal
advisor,
advice?
chef?
Is it
what are we doing here?
Yes. Whatever it is. Okay, give it a role so that it knows, because AI is the opposite of Google. Google brought us the world. It's the forest.
Yeah.
Okay. AI is actually trying to help us find the tree.
It gives you the trail.
Yes, we want this, not all of this.
Okay, so
I don't want to be overwhelmed. I want you to give me the right answer as quickly as possible, not give me all the answers that it could be.
Well, because sometimes they'll give you answers and it'll be for somebody who lives in Australia. And you're like, okay, that works for them, but so with this, understanding where you are. So it's context, role,
interview.
So interview you.
Me, whatever it is. And then last is, what's the task? What's the output? Okay, to your example of a meal. Hey, I took a picture of my refrigerator. Here's what I have in my refrigerator and my cabinet. Hey, here's what I'm thinking about. I got 3 kids. Give me some meal options. I've done this.
So I did it with my daughter's friend was coming for Easter, and she doesn't eat any milk. So she what was very interesting was I didn't have anything.
Yeah.
Like when I go through my Rolodex of meals, and every day after work, if you're a mom, you hear this, what's for dinner? Like I got the Rolodex, but I was like, I got nothing, because I love cheese.
Right.
So I'm sitting there thinking, what am I going to do? Well, I went in and I took the pictures and I said exactly what holiday it was and what I was trying to cook for. And then I wanted to take some of these meals, these things to my mother-in-law's. And I wanted it to be nice, like for everybody.
Yeah.
So I needed at least 2 main things that were going to be dairy-free, that were going to be delicious for her.
Yeah.
And it worked out fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we had these amazing green beans. The salad was incredible. And I used nutritional yeast on some popcorn snack.
Yeah.
It was so good. Anyways, it really blew my mind. I would have been digging through cookbooks.
Yes.
Or going to websites and digging through websites for hours. Yeah. And some of it, one of the recipes was like, omit milk here, and you won't even notice it. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Right.
And how easy is that? If that's where you start, that's a great, what is it called? Confidence builder in AI.
AI is not about business.
It's about what?
It's about freedom.
I like that.
Okay. The first thing that we have to figure out is to find happiness, contentment, not even having contentment, is somehow we got to find freedom of our time back.
Yeah.
Time
is all we're doing. I mean, I feel like every day all I'm working for is more time.
Yeah. And the challenge is that if we're always working to try to get the time, we're actually losing the time.
Losing time. Yeah.
What are the things that I shouldn't be doing? So I love this book called Who Not How, and it's a Dan Sullivan book and Ben Hardy book. But, it made me start asking different questions. And I actually started, the better the question, the better the outcome of the result. Okay. And so the book that they wrote that I really like is a book that's called Who Not How.
Okay.
Okay. And it's not about AI, but indirectly what it did for me in my AI is be able to understand, hey, who should be doing this before I ask, how can I get it done?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. And because of that, now, like I have all of my employees, I have a couple of assessments on them, and I have some of their work stuff about who they are and what they like, because I do that. And I've told AI, here's who Travis is. Mm-hmm. Okay. And,
oh my God, it's helping you pick who to assign roles to?
Yes. And here's the other thing it does. When I send out an announcement to the team, I actually send it through and say, hey, have the team, the personas of the team review this so that and let me know where there may be things that might get misunderstood by somebody on team. It might hurt somebody indirectly when I'm not trying to.
Oh my gosh.
Those sort of things where I love my people.
Todd, that is incredible.
I mean, and so by doing that, I'm actually meeting them where they are as opposed to having them come to where I am all the time.
Well, and that's a hard thing to realize as a leader, because what I used to do is hoard all of the work that I considered hard.
Yeah.
I would be like, I'm going to do these spreadsheets. I'm going to worry about all this, because I was like, I don't want to put this on anybody else.
Nobody else wants that.
Yeah, nobody else wants it, because I definitely don't want to do it.
But somebody does.
Well, what I realized, I remember Stephanie Smith, her office is right down the hall. She'll probably hear this, but I remember trying to keep some of those things from her. Like, I would literally say, I don't want to have to put this on you. And at one point I was like, I need you to maybe shoot this video for me.
Yeah.
And she was like, and I was like, it's so much easier than having to do it. I have to do it. And then I realized later, she would have dove headfirst into that spreadsheet. And it did not bring her any energy. Nobody is as comfortable in front of the camera as I am.
Right.
And so I'm realizing, like, what nobody in this building wants to do any of the videos or any of the stuff. I have no problem doing it.
Right.
But it would bring me, so it drains me to do spreadsheets.
Yes.
And I've done all the assessments with the employees, but it's hard to implement that because you have to remember what everybody is all the time.
Yeah.
AI is
remembers
that's such a great tool.
My mom, so my dad passed away when I was a kid, and my mom is the bomb. And so to hear you say that, there's a high likelihood that most of the people listening to this are women business owners trying to make it work. Okay. Yep. It reminds me of my mom. All right. And my mom's the best person I've ever known. And one of her things that she taught me was one person's burden is another person's blessing.
Yeah.
And so I have, and the problem was that for so many years, I thought like you that, you know, it's a burden for me and I don't want to put that burden onto them. But in fact, what I was doing was taking away something that they wanted to take off of me that they knew was a burden for me. And it was actually not causing me to be the person that I wanted to be for and with them.
Yeah.
And I was limiting their abilities.
Yeah.
Okay. And now I know that not just in AI and doing assessments, I literally know it's okay to ask, hey,
Are you comfortable
I
with
could
this?
I could use some help on this. Would you be willing to do this? And is this something that you feel comfortable with?
Yeah.
You know, it's so much more human,
Yeah.
you know, than just hoarding all this pain.
Yeah.
Because you mean well.
Yes.
You do. And
Right.
and I genuinely believe women have a more challenge with this than men. Okay.
Women have a lot more challenges with lots of things than men.
You know,
Yes, I agree.
And because they will take on so much stuff
Yeah.
to prevent somebody else's pain.
Okay, every woman that I know will do literally anything for the animals and the humans she loves.
Yeah.
And to the point of her own detriment. There is a reason where you see women age very quickly or because they are carrying so much unseen mental burden.
Yep.
And we are all doing it. The mental load that majority of women with children who are working have to deal with is insane. I mean, it's literally
Totally.
not
Saw it
functional.
with my mom.
There's no way to be, even with a partner that is excellent,
Yeah.
right? The woman still, there is some sort of societal pressure of who's making dinner, who's the caregiver, who's going to do the doctor's visits, who's going to, all of that. And I feel like that even if you want to carry that and you have a job, it's nearly impossible. It's nearly, you are always letting somebody down. And I think that so many women need to understand this can fix so much for you. You can actually integrate this into your calendar very simply. It can put dates on for you. It can help you look at things differently. It can help you manage your life through just hitting the talk button.
Yes.
And saying what you need and where you are and getting a different ideas of how to solve problems and do things. Even find contractors or find the right people to work with
I had it assess me last night. I had it assess me a new computer because the one I'm using is lagging, you know, and I was like, okay, this is what's going on. I don't know what the reason. Yeah, I am.
Thank God.
I think
You're switching.
You know, I am. I switched.
You got the iPhone. I know.
I know. My granddaughter.
I'm proud of you.
You know, my granddaughter would. Nobody else could do it, but when she said Papa T FaceTime, and I said Papa T has a Samsung, I can't FaceTime, and she says, "Oh," and that was heartbreaking to me. And I literally called T-Mobile the next day and said, "I gotta get me an iPhone."
Papa T has a Samsung and can't.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad because your text messages going to blue was a great day for me.
I
saw it.
I don't even know I don't even know what blue means.
Yeah, it just
because I'm still in my first 10 days. But can I give one last thing?
Yes, please.
Okay. The last thing I would say is, you know, we have to be a little fearless. Mm-hmm. Okay. You know, I gather by, you know, most of the people that are probably watching this, they had to be fearless one day to even do and be where they're at.
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't matter whether you're right as much as just getting started. The 0 to 1 is the hardest place.
I have met so many women who are stuck on a business plan.
Yes.
They are literally trapped. They won't buy a machine. They're like, I got to get my business plan. And I'm like, Sarah, you could have started 6 months ago. You are so, and I think having an outline and understanding how you're going to make money and you're going to do it is great. But if you are thinking that I don't know one business owner who did a business plan and stuck with the exact same thing.
No.
Not one.
No.
So it's like you need to understand the basics of like the dollars and cents, but having a structure for the next 5 years or whatever is not going to make you more successful because you're going to have to pivot. So being fearless is just getting started.
That's right. And the last thing about AI is if it doesn't give you the answer you want, tell it. That's not the answer I want. You misunderstood and look, I mean, I talk to her and I talk like this, you know, because it's not emotional. It's not going to feel like I hurt its feelings.
I still
it
can't
doesn't
be
have
upset
feelings.
with it. I still say thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, but what I tell it is I expected 10 times better than this. And I expect that to be on this next time. So try again.
Ooh. It does work.
Heck yeah, it does. And it says, I'm sorry I disappointed you, you know, something like that. And it's like, I'm going to give you 10 times better.
I love that.
And then it comes back and it goes deeper because sometimes it's sometimes it's my fault because I didn't give it enough context. Okay. But sometimes it's its fault because it gave me an answer that it thought that I wanted, but it was wrong. And I needed to say, you were wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. It's okay to say you're wrong. You know how many people you could say you're wrong to the way I just said to AI and not have them want to cry and wilt?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I don't care. It doesn't have any feelings.
No, you're right. You're right. What you're saying is great, but I've never thought about it that way. And so one of the things that I would recommend to anybody who's afraid, who's got a business, start exactly like you said, be courageous, get a Claude account, get a paid account, start by having it interview you. Step one. Don't worry about all the other different kinds. Don't worry. The AI can actually walk you through ways to use other AI or use AI in a better way once it understands your needs. Some examples, and I'm going to give these because they're MagnaWave or OROL people, is calculating the pricing and packages that you want to do with taking into account massage areas and PMF that's in your area. Yeah. Because that's a lot of work to go on Google, find everybody. So calculating that.
Making sure that they understand that underneath there, under Claude or ChatGPT, there's a plus sign in the text box, that puts a drop-down menu that has a button called research. Okay. What that's going to do is it's going to intensify what it goes out and gets, and it's going to take longer. Okay, to come back, but it is like 100 times more than if you don't do that. Yes, you don't want to do that for everything. Right. But like what you just said, you'd want it to go out and research and in-depth. It can give you a market analysis.
Yes. Okay. And that's exactly what you need. Number two, and this has been life-changing for a lot of people. I have so much reference for what PMF studies are out there. Case studies, education, I would say maybe one of the most in the world. Okay. Like I follow this. For
you're in it
for real.
Yeah.
So, but everybody doesn't have that. So when somebody comes to me and they bring up some sort of illness or issue with the horse or whatever, I can reference back to either that type of study that was done or something similar that would affect the same way. When you go on there and you really get it to understand you and what you're looking for, and you make sure that you say only factual answers.
Yes.
And you turn that research tab on. It will go through the internet and find you actual research studies using pulse electromagnetic fields and then craft an email or a text message to the person that wanted that information about your product that is so beautiful and so easy, which would take sometimes people 2 or 3 days to get to how they wanted to say it. Or they'd be like, I don't know, let me ask MagnaWave or let me ask OROL people and we'll give them some research. But at the end of the day, you could do it right now. You could respond to somebody in an hour after they ask you about an incredibly niche type of illness. If there's ever been anything even similar that's been tested. And I feel like for them, that's so much power in the palm of your hand and confidence building in what the PMF is and how it works and functions. So doing that, and then if you have to calculate mileage and have to calculate costs of doing business, it can do a lot of that for you very easily instead of you having to use a piece of paper.
Yeah. I'm going to give a secret away.
Okay.
So that role, it can be multiple roles. And one of the things that I'm going to give a secret because I think the people who would watch this, they probably, respect you. Okay. That's why we watch podcasts.
I hope so.
Okay. All right. Put in there that you want the AI to serve as Alane Paulley whenever they need that PMF research. Or when there's a business decision. If you, like I do it all the time.
I have 2,500 videos on YouTube.
Yeah. And so if you tell it, hey, part of your role is to serve as my CFO, and strategic advisor. Part of your role is that you can do multiple roles. Part of your role is to serve as Alane Paulley, the expert on PMF. It will actually go out and research Alane Paulley and all of your stuff that you've put out there. Okay. And it will bring back, it synthesizes all that information in seconds. Okay. Crazy amounts of information. All right. But it's narrowing in, and all of a sudden the answer is going to be more contextualized based off of how you might answer it. So it's almost like having Alane Paulley on call.
Yeah.
Okay. And I do this all the time with when I'm launching a company or a product, I'm using, I really admire Steve Jobs about how he did marketing. I absolutely, and he's part of my board. So I have a persona for Steve Jobs on my board. Okay. But he's not allowed to ever comment on my family.
Why? Because he was
an asshole. Sorry. You know,
It's okay.
I mean, and so he didn't have the relationships. We didn't share the values on that, but I admire the way that he could do marketing.
Yeah,
and
his
so when
thoughts
I'm
on
doing
marketing.
these product launches, I'll say, I'd like you to, part of your role is to serve as Steve Jobs. I want you to serve as a marketing expert with 30 years experience in this specific area in PMF and launching a product to,
A specific audience.
Trainers, and because what AI is doing is it has massive amounts, billions of information, items, books of information. And what you want to do is, again, Google wants everything. You want it to go, oh, no, I don't want all this fluff stuff. I don't want all this stuff that isn't contextualized to what I'm trying to get. I want Alane Paulley's advice. And give me advice of a seasoned marketing professional with 30 years in this area.
Yeah.
And give me the advice of maybe it's Steve Jobs. Okay.
Right.
And you can combine those three and it's going to synthesize that information. And the likelihood that that's going to come away with, and then the other one that I told you about is, I mentioned this earlier, give me 3 great examples, for this, but then give me 3 non-obvious things, because when I first started doing it, I noticed that if I said, "Hey, give me 3 examples of a way to do this or an idea around this or whatever it is," honestly, 2 of them I would have thought about. Okay, and I'd say, "Well, this one's really good," but then when I read the book and I did the non-obvious, all of a sudden everything changed. It became my strategic, not just thought partner, but brainstorming partner.
So they need to follow CRIT, and they need to get interviewed, and they need to ask for those 3 obvious and 3 non-obvious things.
Yep.
And you are actually speaking at MagnaCon 2026 coming up,
Yeah,
and
I'm
talking
excited
a
about
lot
it.
about AI and how it is going to, tips, tricks, how to do avatars. I'm so excited about this.
Yep.
Now, if somebody is not familiar, is there anywhere that they can go if they wanted to use one of your companies?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, number one, I'd say they should just email or call me.
Okay.
So my email is Todd.
Just your email. Yeah, Todd.
Todd, TODD at thumbprint. So like your thumbprint. .consulting. Okay, that's one of my companies. And then I'll just go ahead.
No, don't. Just keep your email. Todd at thumbprint.consulting. And that is how, if you guys ever want to get some consulting, Todd is an amazing resource.
Look, and I'm not, if you just want some advice, you just want to try to get from 0 to 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
This man will give his shirt off of his back.
Look.
So don't take it.
Yeah.
Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to email him nicely and ask a question if you need it. But where you thrive, though, is becoming a consultant and bringing it. What you've done for my business has been amazing. For me personally and for my business has been so wonderful, Todd. Like, honestly, it's been like life-changing. I met Todd at Wi-Fi. I was there, and he was like, I have a business, and I was sweating busy that day. I'll never forget. And you kind of cornered me. You're like, I really want to talk to you about this business. I love it here, yada, yada. And I was like, okay, cool. We'll connect. And since then, it's been wonderful. Like, you are a wonderful person, a great soul, and what you are doing for not only the people that work for you, for your family, and for just this community as a whole is inspiring. It's incredible.
Thank you. I really appreciate
I
that. It
appreciate
means a lot
you so
from
much.
you.
Well, I appreciate you so much. And I think that women and business owners and parents, we need good people in our lives, and we need to find people like you. And I think that
you need a tribe.
You do. You need a tribe. And I thank you for being part of mine. And I really want to get more of your knowledge out to these women and some of the men, but some that are with us.
Yeah.
But majority of them are hardworking women. You have great ideas and support that I think would be great. So we're going to talk at MagnaCon, but then they can go to Thumbprint, Todd at thumbprint.consulting, because he really will help you. He will. And you do an amazing job. His curriculum business is literally what powered us through our new curriculum shift with Empower, our new education. I mean, we wouldn't be here. I would not be launching. It would not be as successful as it is right now without you. And if you need to do just what you do in the way that you think is so unique. And I appreciate your perspective.
Thank you.
Every day.
I appreciate you too.
Well, thank you.
I mean, you changed my personal life. I can actually sleep through the night without getting up and going to the bathroom.
Well,
I mean that's it. The game changer on my sleep numbers. From my
before
Oura
you
ring,
started using
by
the machines?
using
You had PMF at home.
Yeah,
You
I had
have a machine
PMF at home because now, I didn't realize I was incontinent.
Yep.
I was going to the bathroom 2 or 4 times a night.
If you have a man in your
Crazy.
life that's incontinent,
Holy cow, you should.
There's nothing you could do but go to Orwell.com, get a 1-month rental for a Nova HG or an Aura Wave, and their life will change. Your sleep will improve.
Changer. And it's not just the sleep will improve. Your humility grows.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of disturbing when you all of a sudden can't, you go into the bathroom all the time, you turn 50 and you're going to the bathroom all the time.
Look, women have menopause. We got it.
And it's like, and so those things have mattered to me and they mattered to my wife because now I don't wake her up as much.
Exactly.
And so it's a gift for all of us. So you made a difference in my life, not just in my business life. And so I think we have a mutual respect, and that's the tribe you want to be around.
Yes.
People who share your values, your approach, and you can find ways to share outcomes together. Yeah. And when you find those 3 things, you have an opportunity for a unique relationship as opposed to a transaction.
Because that's what this is all about. I just keep coming back to the fact that everybody keeps asking me, what is my goal? Where am I trying to go? I don't have this. I have a goal, but I would say at the end of the day, I'm just trying to enjoy the journey.
Yes.
So being around people who also are enjoying the journey and having fun and helping people, that is what I want.
Yeah.
And that is where you realize it's not about the end. A lot of people are working for one day. I'm working for today and tomorrow, and just to enjoy the moments that I'm in right now. And time is short, man.
Yeah.
Be around good people.
And people have asked me, why I don't retire. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I'm going to tell you, because there's a simple answer. I think the only people who retire are the people who don't love what they do. Mm-hmm. I love what I do. Yeah. Now, the things that I don't want to do anymore, I've either given it to somebody else because I was asking the wrong question. When I started asking the right question, not how, that made my life better. And the second one was, I now know that AI can help me go through things in a quicker way so that I can get to the right who and get them the right information so that they can be successful too. And I'm not carrying that, and all of a sudden I enjoy things more.
Yes.
And why would I want to retire when I'm enjoying everything? It doesn't mean I do the same. I want to do the same amount 20 years from now that I'm doing today.
I definitely
But I want to be doing something in that because purpose is why you live longer, even over everything else. I don't think you can make it in your life for very long when you don't have purpose in it.
Absolutely. You're right.
And my purpose is to serve people.
Yeah.
And hopefully honor my faith in my God that I have. And, and by doing that, I feel like that tomorrow is going to be a good day. Yeah. And my goal today is to make, to feel like that, when I get to, I am focused not on my future. I am focused on making a good yesterday.
Yeah.
So when tomorrow hits, I want to know that I made a good yesterday by doing what I was supposed to do today.
Yeah.
I cannot dictate what's going to happen in 2 years, 5 years, 10 days. Okay. But I can dictate today. This is where I'm going to make the most of today so that tomorrow I'm going to think I had a hell of a great yesterday. And instead of worrying about everything in the future where I think that people get scared in the future, especially when you talk about AI, but how about we just focus on what it can do for us and live our day today so that tomorrow we think we had a great day yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah, I love that idea. And I think if I was an employee of somebody right now, what I would say to do, if you were an intrapreneur, I would do the same thing that we said with the AI of interviewing and talk a lot about your role and how it could maybe help you get more effective, because people are so worried it's going to replace them. It's never going to replace you. What it can do, though, is make you move up quicker by being more effective, by working your job better, bringing better ideas to your
what's going to replace you is somebody who doesn't know how to use it.
Somebody who doesn't know how to use it will be replaced by somebody who does.
Who does.
Exactly.
That's right.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining me.
No, thank you.
I mean, I could talk to you all day, which we've done before.
I know.
So you'll be at MagnaCon 2026.
Yep, excited.
We'll have a lot more information. Email Todd. Thank you for joining me on this episode of The Energy Exchange.